Welcome back. The Charlton church shooting suspect is set to make his first court appearance later today. 21-year-old Dylan Roof is accused of opening fire during services Wednesday night, killing 9 people. His bond hearing is this afternoon. He'll be charged with 9 counts of murder and may also face federal hate crime charges. He has allegedly confessed to the shooting and told investigators he wanted to start a race war. This morning on the Today Show, South Carolina Governor Nikki Haley says she wants prosecutors to seek the death penalty. A very good morning, everyone, and thank you so much for waking up with the Valley today. I'm Kyle Bosch. Lisa has the morning off. Just getting started with nonstop news and weather all the way up to the top of the hour to help you plan your day. We do start with this developing story we've been following since yesterday afternoon. We're now waiting to hear when and if a judge will decide on the state's request to dismiss the final 2 charges against Aaron Knodel. The suspended West Fargo teacher was accused of having a sexual relationship with a 17-year-old student back in 2009. Now, Knodel was originally charged with 5 counts of solicitation of a minor. During his first trial, he was found not guilty on 3 of the charges. His second trial was set to deal with the last 2 counts and was supposed to start on Tuesday, but that could all change with this latest motion from prosecutors. The state has outlined several reasons why they would like the final charges dismissed, including claiming that the trial was skewed in one direction by the media and that there has been a lack of concern for the alleged victim. Knodel's attorney says he's still reviewing the motion. Now, we did reach out to the former student who is accusing Knodel of the charges. She said she was in shock and not ready to speak publicly. Too much of a good thing? Not always a good thing. And in the Valley, too many job openings are making life tough on many companies. A new 100-page workforce report just shows how bad the workforce shortage is in the Valley and takes a look at some of the things that could be done to fix it. The study revealed there are about 11,000 job openings right now, and that number is expected to grow to more than 50,000 in just 5 years. Every industry is having trouble filling positions, but the top 3 fields looking for workers are healthcare, manufacturing, and information technology. Some of the ideas to attract more workers to the area include building more child care and affordable housing, even PR campaigns to try and prove that this is a great place to live, even in the winter. That's going to be a tough campaign for some people. You got to bring them here in the summer. We get some beautiful days, which we've had this week. Though, as we go to Weather on the Ones with Mick Kerr, some bumpy weather sounds like this afternoon that you're tracking.
Yeah, that's right, Kyle. You know what I tell everybody who doesn't live here, doesn't understand our weather, is that spring, summer, and fall are absolutely beautiful here. It's the other 9 months that are a challenge. So anyway, we're right smack dab in the middle of, in fact, summer arrives on Sunday morning. Ahead of that, we're going to have some summertime thunderstorms. It's northeast North Dakota and northwest Minnesota this morning, not experiencing any severe weather. In fact, not experiencing any lightning or thunder. There is some lightning thunder out there by Minot, and that could move in by midday, move into the northeast corner of North Dakota, track into northwest Minnesota. But so far, very well behaved weather, very gentle rain, some of it about 1/10 to 2/10 of an inch, and so far that's it. All right, then this afternoon our attention turns to southeastern North Dakota, where some very big boomers, isolated, concentrated, strong thunderstorms, maybe some severe, coming at us out of into southeastern North Dakota from the central part of the state, out ahead of the main event, which will start about 9-10 o'clock tonight, move into southeast North Dakota, west central Minnesota, followed by another complex of thunderstorms that'll track into southeast North Dakota, west central Minnesota. Some of these storms are obviously going to be severe, and we've been letting you know that for a couple of days. So don't be surprised. Get that Valley News Live's weather app on your smartphone. Follow us on the northeastern, again, follow us on valleynewslive.com, and we'll keep you safe here through the overnight. Low 80s today and some 70s for Sunday, but the precip potential, we got some wild and heavy weather and some heavy rain likely in southeastern North Dakota. At the moment, we have some thunderstorms tracking into central South Dakota, setting the stage for a lot of instability in southeastern North Dakota. Right now, it's 60 degrees in Fargo, 52 Grand Forks. Kyle?
Off today, so they got me doing the traffic. I haven't been able to drive around and check for any mattresses and lanes or anything like that, but I can tell you about road construction that is going on, and the big one to watch out for, I-29 in South Fargo. We've been telling you about this big project that's going to be going on most of the summer, and it's really started in the metro area. The right lane of I-29 northbound is closed from 52nd Avenue to right around 32nd Avenue, so you'll want to watch for some slowdowns in that area. Of course, lots of other construction projects continue to go on around the metro. Downtown Fargo, over in Moorhead, you got that big Highway 75 project as well that is going along 8th Street. Highway 75, same thing. So just keep an eye out for those road projects. Get to where you're going safe this morning and get your weekend started off right. Operations came to a halt at the Cass Clay Creamery in Fargo last night. As we turn back to your news headlines, that was caused by an ammonia leak. The fire crews were called out to the creamery just after 8. Turns out the leak was in a supply line that goes to an ammonia tank on the top of the building. It's used for the cooling system. The Fargo Fire Department says crews were able to get that leak handled and there was no danger to the public. Operations are now back to normal. Well, people in Fargo gathered last night to remember and honor the lives lost in that shooting rampage at a church in South Carolina. 9 people were killed in the shooting. They're being remembered as kind-hearted members of the community. The 6 women and 3 men shared a love of family and faith, and the pastor Pastor Grace Murray at Plymouth Congregational United Church of Christ says that the news of the shooting at a church came as a shock to many. Members of their congregation say they just wanted to let the people in Charleston know that they're being lifted up in prayer even hundreds of miles away. There were about 20 people at that service last night. Friday morning means it's time to check out this week's Valley's Most Wanted. Fargo police on the lookout for Anthony Engelkey. Got his picture up on your screen right now. He's wanted for aggravated assault, domestic violence, and interference with a 911 call. You're asked to call your local law enforcement if you have any information. Only a handful of people showed up to a meeting last night about possible special assessments that the city of Fargo is proposing for downtown. The FM Diversion Authority is building a concrete flood wall from NP to 3rd Avenue North, which requires the realignment of 2nd Street. Taxpayers may have to pick up part of that project, and the money would come from special assessments on people who live in certain parts of downtown. If you want to still offer your opinion about the project, you can. You just have to send a letter to the Fargo City Auditor's Office and do it by the close of business on Tuesday, June 30th. A mother and her 15-month-old daughter got caught in the crossfire of a gun battle in South Minneapolis. It happened at a park yesterday afternoon. Police say that the mother was walking in the park with her toddler in a stroller when they were both hit by bullets. Police say they were not the intended targets. Now, both are expected to survive, and so far there have been no arrests in the case. North Dakota Public Service Commissioners want some input from you about a possible crude oil pipeline that would cross Lake Sakakawea. The $100 million proposed project would start near Keene in McKenzie County and end at a rail facility in Palermo in Mount Trail County. A hearing about the project is set for 9 a.m. August 21st in Stanley. In our Healthier Me on this Friday morning as we hit 6:55, some new research. We've talked about it a lot, that sitting is linked to poor health and even premature death. Now, the latest study says sedentary behavior may increase your risk of anxiety. Scientists reviewed 9 studies that included adults, teens, and children, and the data showed that total sitting time for adults, including at work, on their commute, or just screen time, staring at your computer or phone, was all tied to a higher rate of anxiety. Now, there was a weaker link in teens, but high school students who logged more than 2 hours of daily screen time were also likely to show anxiety symptoms. Coming up a little bit later this evening, it's a very special event. The torch for the Special Olympics World Games is going to be making its way through Fargo. The Valley Today's Christy Larson is joining us live in downtown Fargo, where the big event will take place later tonight. And she's got a lot more on how you can get in on this historic and fun event. Christy?
That's right, Kyle. I was talking with Julie. This is going to be a lot of fun for all ages. And let's again tell people why.
The Unified Relay event, which will be held tonight at this location between the Civic Center and the library from 6 to 8 p.m., is to bring everyone together in support of Special Olympics. We will be raising money with the relay and will be of raising awareness of Special Olympics and people with intellectual disabilities. There'll be games, there'll be food, all sorts of things going on tonight. So we welcome you and invite you out for this very special event and ask you to help support our people with special needs.
And you are going to be one of the people traveling with our 2 North Dakota athletes that are going to the World Games. So I know this is near and dear to your heart. And are you going to be doing the Macarena? I heard one of our athletes likes to do the Macarena. Adam does.
Yes, I'm hoping we can get Adam to do the Macarena again with us at training camp in Indianapolis last fall. He did the Macarena with the powerlifting team.
And that's right. Again, we told you about Adam and Josh. They're both of the 2 athletes from North Dakota going to those World Games in Los Angeles in just over a month away. And again, you can come downtown here tonight to help support them as they head out for this great journey. And Kyle, I don't know if you know the Macarena, but I'll show you a little bit.
I'm pretty sure we did that at a couple of dances when I was in high school. I've tried to forget it from my memory, but oh, there it is. Christy Larson reporting live. And we do have Adam's story, by the way. If you didn't get a chance to see it earlier, just great. It's posted on our website, valleynewslive.com. You can check it out on the video player on the Valley Today page. Thanks, Christy. Well, the championship celebration isn't quite over for the new NBA champions. You can see Steph Curry and his friends getting off the plane yesterday in Oakland, California with that big trophy. They won the title Tuesday night in Cleveland, and today they get their big parade and rally. This is the Warriors' first championship since 1975. Let's get our answer now to our question of the morning on Facebook. Men are more likely to forget to pack this for vacation than women. The answer, swimwear. I can see that.
Yeah.
Because especially, too, if you're just, like, going to a hotel, like, I never think about, like, bringing a swimsuit for the
So then
pool
you're
or-
forced to wear your cutoffs.
Exactly.
Or cut off something.
Oh, yeah. Or just...
Yeah, but that's all right.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
fine. And you can enjoy the pool in your cutoffs just as well as you can in your
You
swimming
bet.
suit.
It's all about showing yourself, all right? Get working on the tan. All right, let's quick check forecast because we have some lively weather expected for later in the day. This morning, well-behaved rain showers moving through the northern valley. Expect a pleasant summer day followed by an ugly night. Storms developing out west by evening.
That's our time on this Friday morning. Have a wonderful Friday and weekend, everybody. Happy Father's Day to all the dads out there. We'll see you Monday morning.